For years, millions watched The Curse of Oak Island waiting for that one moment. The discovery that would change everything. But instead of answers, fans got something very different. Today, we're breaking down how one of TV's biggest treasure hunts started falling apart. Oak Island became famous back in 1795, when a teenager spotted a strange pit in the ground and kicked off a centuries-long mystery. Stories spread fast. Hidden pirate gold, secret tunnels, booby traps, even clues pointing to the Knights Templar. It had every ingredient people love: danger, legends, and the promise of unimaginable treasure. By the time the History Channel stepped in, the island wasn't just a myth. It was a global obsession. Viewers believed the truth was finally about to be uncovered, and that Oak Island's darkest secrets were finally within reach. When the show first launched, it felt like the start of something huge. Rick and Marty Legina weren't just treasure hunters. They were two brothers chasing a childhood dream, pouring their own money, time, and energy into solving a mystery people had tried cracking for over 200 years. That alone made viewers root for them. And then came the promise. Every episode teased the possibility that the next dig, the next scan, the next drill could uncover the jackpot. Chests of gold, ancient manuscripts, priceless artifacts buried deep under layers of engineered tunnels. The show framed Oak Island like a giant puzzle built by geniuses long gone, and the Leginas were finally close to solving it. With experts rolling in every season, archaeologists, historians, metal detection pros, geologists, it looked like the island was practically screaming to reveal something massive. Fans weren't just watching, they were invested. Every sonar image, every strange wooden beam, every rusted spike seemed like a clue pointing toward a breakthrough. And the editing? It was masterful. Cliffhangers everywhere. The narrator's voice booming about a discovery that could rewrite history. Shots of team members gasping, staring at monitors, calling in reinforcements. Suddenly, Oak Island felt alive. It felt dangerous. It felt like something ancient was waking up under the dirt. Before we move on, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and smash that like button. Thank you. Let's get back to it. In those early seasons, the excitement was real. Hope was real. And the idea that treasure was just inches away kept millions glued to their screens. But after the hype of those early seasons, something started to feel off. Viewers began noticing a pattern. Every episode teased a huge discovery, but when the moment came, it was usually a nail, a shard of pottery, or a piece of wood that might have just washed up from anywhere. The show stretched these tiny finds into dramatic storylines, often for an entire hour. It worked for a while, but fans eventually realized they were watching the same cycle over and over. Then came the pacing problem. Long dig operations would be split across multiple episodes, padded with repeated footage and heavy narration. People joked that the show spent more time recapping itself than actually digging. And honestly, they weren't wrong. YouTube, Reddit, and forums filled up with comments like, "I checked back after 5 seasons, and they still haven't found anything." On top of that, the costs were skyrocketing. Drilling a single deep shaft could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fancy new scanning tech wasn't cheap either. The team was throwing massive money, massive machines, and massive manpower into the island. Yet the progress barely moved. And most concerning, even the experts on the show started disagreeing. Some said the artifacts were promising. Others hinted they were too modern. Every new clue came with a new contradiction. Slowly, the shine that made Oak Island magical started fading away. Here's the issue that finally hit everyone. The treasure just never appeared. Not the gold, not the jewels, not the secret documents that were supposed to change history. Nothing close to the scale the show kept hinting at. Season after season, the Leginas dug deeper and deeper, sometimes literally punching holes straight through the island. But with every expensive drilling attempt and every giant excavation pit, the results were the same. Small artifacts, interesting stories, but no real treasure. Fans began asking the question no TV network wants to hear. Is there even anything down there? Others wondered if the legend had grown so big that reality could never live up to it. The longer the hunt dragged on, the heavier the pressure became. Critics said the show was intentionally dragging things out. Some viewers accused it of being scripted or misleading. Even loyal fans felt stuck in an endless loop, always one step away from a breakthrough that somehow never came. And that created the turning point. Once people stopped believing the treasure was real, the whole foundation of the show started cracking. When you pull back the curtain on The Curse of Oak Island, you start seeing the real problem. The show was fighting a battle between reality and what TV needed to stay exciting. And the cracks became impossible to hide. First, there were the artifacts, the things hyped up as game-changing discoveries. Fans remember moments where the team found an object, and everyone acted like it could rewrite human history. But when the dust settled and experts tested those items, the results were usually disappointing. A metal fragment that looked ancient turned out to be from the 1800s. A strange wooden structure was probably just an old wharf. Carbon dating crushed more theories than it supported. Every time this happened, the excitement dipped just a little more. Then came the editing problem. The show started relying heavily on dramatic teasers meant to grab viewers. In moments, a discovery that could change everything. But then the discovery would basically be a guy looking at a blurry screen and saying, that might be something. It reached a point where the audience didn't trust the build-up anymore. Viewers joked they could skip every episode and watch the finale, and they'd still know exactly what happened. A lot of digging, a few shards, and another season teased. Behind the scenes, the team also had to deal with the limits of real archaeology. Digging up an island isn't like opening a birthday present. There are environmental regulations, safety laws, and slow, methodical processes that TV can't rush. But the show had to stay dramatic, so production tried everything. Bigger drills, deeper shafts, cutting-edge scans to keep the illusion of progress moving. But when you push too hard, you create new problems. Some experts argued the digging actually destroyed important evidence. Others claimed the search methods became so chaotic that it was nearly impossible to know what was original history and what was damage from the show. And the public noticed. Online communities grew louder with complaints. The show is spinning its wheels. They keep drilling, but never explain anything clearly. They're destroying the island for no reason. Even journalists began calling out the series, pointing to contradictions, exaggerated claims, and a narrative that seemed to stretch thinner every season. Meanwhile, History Channel had its own challenge. Ratings were dropping, and the treasure still wasn't any closer. The show cost millions to make, but the payoff, in terms of actual discoveries, wasn't growing with the investment. Oak Island didn't just become a mystery, it became a problem the show couldn't solve. Every long-running show has a turning point, a moment when fans collectively go, "Wait, seriously?" For The Curse of Oak Island, that moment hit during a season when the hype around a particular discovery reached an all-time high. Promos teased it for weeks. Interviews hinted at something historic. Even the narration amped it up, like they were finally standing on the edge of the breakthrough everyone had waited for. And then the episode aired. The massive discovery turned out to be a small piece of metal. Not gold, not a relic, not some ancient inscription. Just a tiny fragment that experts quickly explained was probably from the 19th century. Right around the time earlier, treasure hunters were tearing up the same area. It wasn't just anticlimactic. It felt like the bubble popped. Fans online exploded with comments. "That was it? I'm done." They've officially run out of ideas. Some even made compilations of all the huge moments that led nowhere. It wasn't just disappointment. It was the realization that the show's promise might never be fulfilled. The treasure dream that kept the series alive suddenly looked more like a story kept on life support. And once that illusion cracked, it never fully recovered. When you look at the whole journey, the downfall of the Curse of Oak Island wasn't because people stopped caring about treasure. It was because the show kept promising a finish line that never got any closer. For years, viewers held on to hope, real, genuine hope, that the island was hiding something world-changing. But slow progress, mixed signals, failed theories, and overhyped reveals eventually chipped away at that belief. In the end, the Oak Island mystery didn't collapse because the legend was weak. It collapsed because the show stretched it so far that the magic faded. People still want to believe, but belief needs more than endless digging. For more deep dives like this, subscribe, smash that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.